I'm at Runyon Canyon with Lolo, and I thought today I would try and maybe do my weekly check-in from here. I feel so embarrassed in a way to document and vlog what I'm doing, and it's nice that no one's really here, so I don't feel as bad about it. So I think I want to talk about why I'm doing this. As most people know by now, I was in a terrible car accident with my sister, her husband, my other sister, her husband, and this little guy Lolo, who was Sonia and Willie's dog. It was the day after Christmas. We were headed skiing. I don't know. I relive it every day, so at this point, just another day retelling it. Hey, come here. Let's sit down for a sec. Yeah, obviously it was not just any car accident. It was a really bad one, and I ended up losing Sonia, my sister, and her husband Willie. I broke my back, broke my pelvis. My sister Catalina broke her jaw. Her husband Jack broke every single rib and 3 vertebrae. And that was just the physical, obviously. And yeah, I spent the next 3-4 months just in bed, really. I was in a back brace using a walker. I was just so far away from any envisioning of doing something physical. Like, that was not even in sight by any means. I didn't come back to LA because it wasn't right to, and I didn't want to rush it, and I'm glad I did that. Lolo was injured too. Lolo, he dislocated his hip, which for everything is incredible that that was all he had, but for a dog especially, that's a really difficult recovery. I mean, he had to get a full femoral head ostectomy, which cut part of his femur off, so now his femur just kind of balances on his hip rather than actually entering into the hip socket. You can see a little bit on him sometimes. His right leg sometimes comes a little forward. But we did a lot of physical therapy with him. Shout out Steven at Sierra Peaks Animal Rehabilitation in Denver and his whole staff for helping us out. They were so sweet. Also Spry Orthopedics, also State of the Heart Veterinary Clinic. They all were donating time, donating money, just helping to help Lolo. I feel some, not obligation, but determination to, maybe I can't give back to them financially in the ways that I would like, but if I can show them that their work really did something for this beautiful boy, for me, for my family, then just showing them something that, you know, your work contributed to this. I mean, I'd have such a huge achievement just for that. Anyways, so a lot's happened in the past year, to say the least. And for a while I chose to sit down and lay down, and I needed that. I mean, we all do. I think it's important when you're going through anything that you really take a second to just go through it and sit in it, and especially something like this. I mean, I'm never going to stop experiencing this, obviously. It's entirely a part of the rest of my life. Even more so, I needed a second to just sit. So yeah, I mean, coming out of that, I literally, like, upon moving back to LA, my roommate had told me, you should do this thing 75 hard with me. And, you know, I looked it up online, and it sounded really cringy and sounded very Instagram influencery, hitting the top 10 ab workouts and getting the best biceps in Chad history. I was kind of pushed off by that, but I started diving deeper into it, and it started to intrigue me, just, you know, the mental combination with the physical. So I started it. I wanted to end by 4th of July because I had been on Accutane for 9 months, and I was like, you know, maybe it would be nice to enjoy a drink with my friends on 4th of July. And so I looked at the calendar, when do I have to start? And to start and end by 4th of July meant I would have to start on Easter, which was April 20th last year. So I said, okay, I'm gonna start on Easter. I'll have a week in Denver doing it, and then I'll go back to LA and I'll keep doing it. And then it kind of became slightly, you know, like this cathartic, interesting experience, because now all of a sudden I'm doing it, even though I'm not religious per se. You know, I'm definitely spiritual, but even though I'm not biblically religious, to do something starting on Easter sounded interesting, because Easter is about, you know, Christ's rebirth and renewal, and, you know, him having died. And like, if I did it starting then, maybe there was some rebirth and renewal within me too. Then, you know, my sister was like, well, hold on now, because 4th of July is not just 4th of July, but also, obviously, it's Sonia's 6-month anniversary since she's passed. of course that went over my head. There's so many anniversaries in the first year that you're celebrating and you're wanting to forget and not even think about it. So I felt even more cathartic now, and it felt even more like, oh my God, I really got to lock into this. And then we, over the next week counted out, okay, when's halfway point? Because that's going to be big for us. Of course, halfway point was when? May 26, 2025, which is Sonia's birthday. And it just felt like I was locked into this mile marker of doing something with Sonia and with Willie. Like I had to achieve it and I had to get it done. So I sped run through 75 hard the first time, and towards the end of it, we went to go visit Willie's family in Ecuador, and there was this climb that they wanted to do called Imbabura, and it's an active volcano that is 15,000 feet above sea level, so higher than any mountain in the intercontinental US. I did it, Jack did it, Catalina did it, and Lolo did it, and so many of Willie's family did it. And some people couldn't make it up all the way, but they still did it, and they still did what they could. And from that point on, I started to really think about, how can I keep doing this? How can I make this a part of my life rather than just one climb and I'm done and I'm out? And how can I keep doing it has been the question for the past 8 months, and this has been a project slowly in the making. But I got to a point where I just kept saying, oh, one day it would be super cool to try and commit to climbing all the 14ers in Colorado. Then on top of that, I said, oh, it'd be really cool to do it with Lolo. And then I, did some research, and I saw some really cool people had done it with their dog before. I knew it was possible. And then I said, oh, well, what's like a twist that I could put on it? Something that feels original to me and personal. Well, my music, is something that I want to carry with me wherever I go. And I'm of course carrying Sonia and Willie on all of these trips with me, and their son Lolo I take with me as well. And now I'm taking a piece of myself, which is my guitar and my music, and I'm trying to share it from all these peaks, as many as I can. So it's a journey. I locked in for something that's not going to be easy. I'm practicing on Runyon Canyon, for Christ's sake, and I know what that looks like. I'm not oblivious that Capitol Peak is way harder than Runyon Canyon. I know that, but I think the biggest thing I wanted was to show people that true journeys in self-discovery don't start a week before finding yourself. It takes a lot of time and a lot of preparation, and the true search for the meaning of your life never stops, and it's always constant. And I've seen a lot of these people who are so inspiring online, biking all the way across Asia or climbing all these mountains. It's hard because I feel like all these people just go viral once they're doing it. And I really want to share what it's like when I'm not in my peak physical condition right now, and I'm still only a year out from losing my sister and her husband, and in the middle of trying to figure out being 26, and I guess just it takes a minute. So one step at a time, every climb. I like coming down to this little spot because there's no one ever here. I was just walking down the mountain. I know I look so silly carrying a guitar on my back. People are probably thinking, most dedicated roadie out there. I don't know. I don't really care though. I feel like we all get judged anyways. I'm trying to just find my way, find my purpose. And life has already done too much to me that I don't really care what a few more people think. I honestly just hope that one person watches this and says I should get out of bed. Today's the day that I'm gonna go to the gym for the first time, or I'm gonna quit my job and finally pursue directing or acting or music or start my own company, whatever it is. Life is too short, man. You can spend it laying in your deathbed the whole time, or save that until the final moments. I know inevitably I'll be there one day. So for now, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna walk and see where that takes me and what I can do. We're all gonna die. If that's, too dark for you, then you haven't accepted the rules of life.